I know I've been gone for quite some time, guys, and I do so apologize. Real life always trumps game. But I very much appreciate the love and support that you guys have been giving to me and staying subscribed to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that like button, follow this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get the notifications to be able to continue following me on our journey across Tamriel. Now let's get to it today, guys. Today I have been having requests from my guild, Hive Traders, on the PS4 NA server. We are a donation-based guild for those who don't know. We'd very much love to have you guys join if we have space. If not, we do end up having a waiting list if we get full. But right now, we do have space inside of our guild. But we've had a lot of different requests in the guild of how to make gold. A lot of people are struggling now to be able to make gold, and that's one thing that is a difficult thing to end up doing. Let me let our fellow bees know that we are live now. While we get our fellow bees to join us here in our stream, I just want to get a shout out to all of my members of Honey Hive. You guys are what makes this guild thrive, and I very much appreciate you guys following us for the last 5 years. It's been quite a journey, and I look forward to making it even longer. So without further ado, first and foremost, I want to let you guys know, in order to make gold, it doesn't necessarily take gold to make gold. What you can end up doing is going out and farming different resources, and those resources will end up assisting you in filling up your craft bags. Now, craft bags, I know it costs money, and I know that there's been a lot of issues recently with ZOS and ZeniMax as far as glitches. You gotta remember, guys, it's technology. It's gonna end up happening. There's gonna be glitches, there's gonna be mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Nothing in this world is perfect, so that's the reason why I'm sticking around. I've got a lot invested in this game, and I really enjoy it myself. Aside from all the glitching and whatnot. Welcome to those who have just joined the chat. Very much appreciate you guys. So when you guys end up wanting to get resources and nodes, the craft bag, I cannot stress it enough on how much over the last 6+ years that I've been playing this game, on how much it's actually helped me. Although my bag stays pretty much, you know, not really empty, but it does end up being low every week. It's well worth it, regardless of the factor. I do buy and sell a lot. I do end up doing a lot of trading. I do farm. I used to farm up to 60 hours a week. I'm not asking or telling you guys that that's the only way to make gold, because it's really not. It just depends on what you want to end up doing for what works for you. So without further ado, craft bag number 1, it's a must-have. If you don't have it, you are going to struggle with inventory space, and a lot of my members can vouch for that they struggle up until they give the week free for the craft bag, and then they end up putting Jira is hilarious. Hello. It's very well worth it. It's $14.99 US. You also get 1,620 crowns, I believe it is, for a monthly subscription. I myself am pay through until I think it's March or April of next year. Yes, I did pay quite a bit ahead of time because I love the craft bag. Not to mention that it gives you all the up-to-date DLCs free of charge for those who don't have the money to be able to really purchase them. but yes, so craft bag number 1 helps out. The reason why I was stating the craft bag is because right now we are inside of our Honey Hive Guild Hall, our newest one. This is our crafting area, which has every single attunable to date here, including our normal crafting area. In a later video, I'll end up giving a full tour. But the reason why I'm here is because writs with your craft bag items, depending on if you know the motifs that are required for the writs, or if you end up getting the lower grade writs for such as provisioning or enchanting, it's great to do. It really is. A lot of the items out of the writ vendor have become well worth it. They just updated it with this recent update 29. They have a lot of different things in there. They have the attunable tables, which I'll explain in a later video of what they are for those who don't know what they are. They have envelopes that have patterns and recipes and diagrams and different things in there. They have a lot of goodies, which again I'll show you guys in a future video for that. But writs will end up being one of my personal top choices. I do have a lot of them. It's quite a lot. This is a lot of my writs that I have just to begin with, not to mention coffers. I do these literally on a weekly basis. For those who didn't, I had somebody inside of the guild who whispered me and they thought that I really didn't have a lot of jewelry writs. I have a coffer full of just nothing but jewelry writs. But there's a crap ton of different things that you guys can end up gathering to do, and the writs come out of dailies, or you can also purchase them from guild traders. When you do dailies, I mean crafting dailies, such as right now the Jubilee event is going on, which thank you ZeniMax and Zoss for extending our event and recognizing the fault on your end. We do appreciate that as players. But yes, the writs come from the crafting dailies. Crafting dailies, you can end up starting inside of Somerset. Is a good location to go to be able to speak to those for them. Again, I'll do that in another video. I'm going to try to break everything up for you guys so you guys can get into the specific videos for things, for those who don't know, newer players. Do your writs. Writs end up being extremely helpful. In a day's time, you guys just seen my in my personal bank. All those writs all together will probably be around, maybe, because a lot of them are single digit, around maybe 2,500 to 3,000 writs, or vouchers rather. That will end up amounting to, depending on what you end up gathering, around 2 to 2.5 million gold. It does take time to do them, but a very, very, very good thing that they actually implemented on the game. If you end up going to one of these stations and you have the writ, you can end up going into your options menu and select quests only. So when you have the writ actually opened, it will end up assisting you in making that item. So you're no longer searching for it. I used to actually take pictures of my TV screen to copy down the writs and do a whole bunch of them. I still do that only because they only allow one of each, meaning one alchemy, one blacksmith, one clothing, etc. In regards to accepting them as quests. Which I really hope that in the future that they end up making a change to that. Maybe it might be a possibility. Who knows? You never know with Zoss. So this is definitely helpful for those who only have a few of them that aren't quite, packed up with them as I am. A lot of farmers I've noticed in my guilds, they end up having a whole bunch of writs because they just farm and do dailies and whatnot, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, that bores me, Hive. What else can I end up doing to make gold?" if you love trials, and if you like dungeons, if you like going to the 4-man dungeons, or if you like public dungeons, those are also other great opportunities in order to make gold. You're not going to end up making them as much to be able to get an abundance. Again, it's the gold making here, it varies. The amount of items end up fluctuating, especially with events, especially with updates. Like the most recent update, some of the gold mats ended up raising in prices. I mean, it varies. It really does. And you have to kind of adjust to it, and understand that it's a fluctuating market. That was the word I was looking for. So with that, another way that you can end up making money is go inside a public dungeon. Spending a couple of hours in there. There is a public dungeon called the Vile Minis that was one of my first farming locations back when they had VR ranks a few years ago. They end up, when you go into the Vile Minis, there is a crap ton of ads in there. You can go to any public dungeon, really. There's another one that's out in Malvator, the public dungeon there. There's a lot of places. You could just pick a public dungeon and really go in there and, farm, kill ads, kill the bosses, get gear. Keep an eye on, like, if people are looking for Necropotent's gear, go inside of Rivenspire and go inside of the public dungeon and farm it up. You can end up getting certain gear drops from when you go do world bosses. If you like killing world bosses, whether you solo them, if you have a group of people that want to end up doing them, if you go inside the public dungeon and you want to solo some ads out and just gather stuff up, there's a lot of different resources that you can end up getting in this game. You'll end up getting ornate pieces. You'll end up getting pieces that people can use to research. Or if they decon, they end up giving you... it's an intricate item. It ends up giving you more XP when you decon it. It's all very helpful, and my philosophy that I've always went by since I've started this game was every little bit helps, no matter if it's a couple hundred gold or if it's a couple thousand gold. I know there's a lot of people that are spenders out there that get gold and it instantly disappears, and they're like, oh, Hive, this isn't working for me. All I could say is kind of try to control your spending limit if you're trying to save up gold. I know that there's a lot of goodies out there, but always remember, every single year they have the same events that drop a lot of previous items. So there's a lot of people that hold on to items, such as I had grabbed some of the greenhouses, the Eleanor greenhouses, which are hot in the market right now. I did grab some of those, but I'm going to use those to actually revamp our guild hall for those who didn't know. As soon as they fix the glitch with the disappearing furniture, because I don't want to lose none of what we have. But if you end up wanting to farm the public dungeons, I highly suggest getting a merchant. Get a merchant, get a banker. There's going to be items that drop in there that you want to keep. If you end up, again, example, Rivenspire, Necropotent's gear, the Divine's gear goes for a pretty good penny. The lowest I've seen it go for is like 8k per piece, and that's being a green. Sometimes people do it for like 5k a piece, but that's just because they know other people. A lot of people end up showing pretty much like their care of the lower player community and just pretty much giving it away, like what I do most of the time. But it's depends on what you like. So if whoever's on right now, if you guys have any kind of questions of other methods of what you tried, please go ahead and comment. I can end up seeing the comments on my phone. So we can end up trying to make some gold, guys. I'll end up traveling to actually one of the public dungeons to show you what I'm talking about. So let's see where we want to go today. Alright, I want to show you guys, this is the one that's in Malvator, It's called the Crimson Cove. It has a lot of different bosses in there. So why don't we end up traveling there today? Just because. Now, just to let you guys know, I will be making several videos in gold making methods. Some of them I might end up repeating some of the same things, just to ensure that everybody is getting a little bit of everything as far as information, because I want it to be as informative as possible. So yeah. The reason why I'm able to run fast right now, guys, for those who don't know, I actually have what they call farming gear on. Which ends up making you run fast for those who don't have it. It is Fjord's gear and Coward's gear. Fjords and Cowards mixed together, whether you're a Magicka player or a stand player, end up helping with your speed drastically. I highly suggest to go ahead and get the combo. You can end up getting, I believe it's Cowards from Rothgar. You can end up buying it from the traders really cheap. It doesn't cost much at all. Definitely helpful. With the new champion point system, it definitely helps out too. The way that they set things up. Yeah, it does take a second to learn it, but it's extremely helpful, most definitely. Let's see if we can get... Yeah, definitely am fast. I actually just looked at our guild chat. So Pearl, you're watching right now? Hello. Very nice to see our actual bees inside of our stream right now. I definitely appreciate you all. So I want to give a shout out to all of our honey hive traders. You guys are awesome. I swear this guild definitely would not be what it is without you guys. And I will say that time and time again. Hello to whom just joined our party. Welcome. Hey D, welcome. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining our live stream. Alright guys, here is Crimson Cove. Let's see if that glitch that is freaking happening with the gear is still happening. Pausing. Oh, I guess I must have luck right now. You guys are giving me luck, yay! I'm gonna change my gear to my normal sets instead of my farming gear, which I just put on the wrong gear for these other ones, but it's okay, it happens. Gear is a big thing in this game. I'm gonna be very quite honest. I end up putting my feet somewhere, and I'm gonna have to check my bank. That is my cat, y'all. She is saying hello. I don't know if you guys heard her meowing. Yeah, loading times are definitely great right now. I'm actually gonna go inside of my bank real quick and check to see if I've got feet in here, cause yeah, I need my feet. Looks like my feet are gone, so they took my gear, which means I'll have to get more. Boo! That's awesome. That's alright. Oh, I wasn't trying to pull him back out. Good. Bald head banker. So here you guys, you will end up seeing there is a ton of ads. If you don't feel that you have the sustainability to be able to gather all the ads, that is perfectly fine. So if I die, you guys can go ahead and laugh at me, it's okay. But most definitely, you end up getting a pretty decent amount of gold for the ads that pop up. And I'm getting attacked by hidden ads. They don't want me to show you guys this. Oh, Typhus, go away. His bald-headed behind wants to follow me. But yeah, so if you guys end up going around inside of any kind of public dungeon, you'll end up getting different gear. You can get ornate stuff. You end up getting potions that you can sell on the market. You could sell them to the merchant. I highly suggest getting a banker or a merchant in order to sell your wares, so you don't have to worry about traveling out and wasting money. It is very lucrative to have. We're not going to follow him. We're going to let him go ahead and kill those ads. But yeah, this is definitely helpful. This is one of the very first things I end up doing to be able to make gold. You spend a couple hours in here, you'll end up with at least 150k, which is extremely helpful. It just depends on how dedicated you are to actually farming it. Now, you guys remember those ads that we just killed? Now they just spawn back, so they have a pretty good spawn rate. There's also chests inside of there. The reason why mine is glowing is because I have my champion point set up and my skills set up to be able to see them. If you don't have that yet, definitely helpful. So yeah, I mean, this is very lucrative for beginners. Highly suggest this method for those who like to just grind. It also, if you throw on an XP scroll, being that the CP cap has just been raised to 3,600 from the previous 810, this is a great way if you throw on an XP scroll, and you can literally hit two birds with one stone. There's random nodes that pop up. You can end up going inside of these and just farm it up. These items, if you have the craft bag, will end up going inside of the craft bag, so it's definitely helpful. So yeah, so that's one method that I end up showing you guys. Public dungeons, big helpful thing. Let's see what else we can end up showing you guys today. Let's go to the Rift. Right here inside of the Rift, I'm going to go to the Rift and Way Shrine. There's a location where another way to be able to get materials. It's called a scrap farm. There's a couple different scrap farms, and I will show you the locations of them as we go along, to be able to get stacks of rubido hide scraps, or whatever level your character is. You can end up getting hide scraps, or again, whatever level you are, or whatever your skill level is at, is the mats that you'll end up getting. But I highly suggest to try to do this on a CP player, as the CP 160 mats sell better. But we're going to go up here and show you guys this little cat farm. I'm going to show you guys a few different methods today. I don't want to end up making this video super long, but I definitely want to end up giving you guys some helpful information so you guys can end up starting to make gold. Because I definitely wanted you guys to be able to earn gold. So as soon as you come off the Rift and Way Shrine, if you don't have a Way Shrine here, there's a couple different ways that you can end up getting here. If you have one of the surrounding lands open, you can end up running in here. If you have East March open, or if you have Stone Falls open, you can end up running into here just by going through the side thing. This right here, for those that don't know, is Cyrodiil. You cannot travel there from any of here. You have to actually go through your inventory and go into the campaign to actually travel there. So it's not something that you'll be able to run from. If you happen to go in there, you can't run from there to the rift. Just so you guys know. But as soon as you end up coming in here from this way shrine, we are going to end up going up around in this area right here. So this is going to be where our kitties are for us to farm. You guys like my mount? This mount was given to me by Zoss. An awesome Apex mount. My actual second Radiant Apex mount that I actually own. They had, on my birthday, my 35th birthday, one of my awesome bees had given me a 4-pack of crates, and I ended up getting it, which was awesome. So, let's go up here. Alright, so right here is where the cat farm is, guys. These saber cats end up popping up. It looks like there might be somebody farming over here. You can end up going around. It's literally just a circle. Put on some music and you can end up going here. Yeah, there's people. Let's follow them so we don't disrupt their way of doing it. I don't want to end up being rude. We're gonna just follow them around so we don't end up interrupting those spawn times. You guys don't have to necessarily make it to where you follow a whole group, but I highly suggest it, just to make sure that everybody is on the same level as far as farming them. This way, so you guys all get your resources and nobody is complaining, because there are people out there that actually like being rude and interrupting things. So you definitely don't want to end up being one of those people. Be kind, be courteous, and share. I mean, I know the platform is out here for everybody, but let's just make it the best. So these guys, this is literally just one small circle area. As you see, they're killing these cats, and you end up getting rubido hide scraps. I said rubido, didn't mean that. Sorry. But you end up getting the rubido hide scraps from here. You also get potions. There's random drops. I personally myself don't like any of the gear that drops out of here, so I always sell my gear and stuff like that to my merchant for the gold. But literally, as you guys can see, we're right back where we just were. It's literally one circle, and farming here for literally an hour can end up getting you like a good 10-15 stacks of scraps, which in the market right now, they're going around 9 to 11k a stack. So that's very lucrative for those who want to just farm materials, and if you guys like farming materials, definitely helpful. This is one area. If you find this area has too many people, there is another area here inside of Oridon. I haven't been there in a while, but if you go here to the Matheson Way Shrine, is actually up in this area, right? Nope. It's over in this area right here. So, definitely helpful. If you want to end up just farming materials, if you have good RNG, which mine sucks, just saying. For the most part, Zoss doesn't like me when I refine, but I have my good days and I have my bad days, as everybody does. So don't get discouraged, just keep going at it, guys. I have noticed that if you go to the 9 trait crafting tables, or 8 trait, the more traits that you have unlocked, the better RNG status that you have, and I suggest only refine like a couple stacks at a time to see your gold mat ratio to a stack. I try to get at least 1 gold mat per stack to make it lucrative enough for me. So if I refine 5 stacks, I try to get at least 5 gold mats before I continue refining at that same table. If I don't, I go to another table inside of our guild hall and I try again. It's different methods. People have different ways of trying to make different amounts of gold and whatnot. So, I know that I have a couple of my bees here inside of the YouTube video watching. So if you guys have anything else that you guys want to end up learning, you guys can either put it inside of our guild chat or here inside of the YouTube chat, and I can end up responding. But in the meantime, I'll go over here to Belkarth Craglorn. I love the animation that they have with a lot of the things in this video. The back screens and whatnot. Also the artwork. Definitely something to view. Alright, the reason why I came here to Belkarth Craglorn, guys, this is the other method that I was speaking of as far as dungeons and trials. Here inside of the zone chat, usually on almost every server, this is a big area for people to look for members to join, as far as joining for trials. There's different areas for dungeons that people end up going on. They end up going inside of guild chats and whatnot, so they can end up finding people. Hey, butterfly. But here inside of the zone chat, you can end up finding people. You could put LFG looking for group. I mean, there's people that have a lot of different shortened things, so that'll be something else that I can end up telling you guys. WTS want to sell. LTB like to buy. DPS, damage per second, but they're looking, the LF is looking for, just so you guys know, like there's a lot of little short slang. They're looking for normal trials, so you can end up finding different groups of people. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others to be able to fill a group. Usually normal dungeons, I highly suggest, if you are trying to do them properly, to run in there with 2 tanks and 2 healers, and then run in with the 8 DPS to make the full team of 12. It's not a necessity if you have a tank and a healer who are well enough known on the mechanics for normals to be able to run through them. Most of the trials are easy to do with 1 tank and 1 healer, but I myself, I personally request to have 2 tanks and 2 healers, just so we can be on the safe side, so we can actually thoroughly teach the mechanics to people. They call them pug groups, meaning just basically it's people in the group that are random. So you're gonna end up getting some good pugs. I've ran into quite a few. There are some people who are quote-unquote elitists. That is my biggest thing that I dislike as part of the game. I can deal with a lot of people being trash talkers. I can deal with, you know, blocking spammers. I can deal with, you know, seeing people just being idiotic and not, you know, they can be disrespectful, and I'll kind of message them and tell them, hey, listen, you're getting out of line, or I'll ignore them. I'll leave the zone. But elitists are my biggest thing that I dislike. Elitists are people that know it all, quote unquote, and just want to run through things and kick people for, I mean, it might be a reason, a decent reason, but to me, everybody started this game somewhere. We all started this game brand new, fresh, not knowing anything. It's not like we all knew everything in this game. So that's my biggest thing, is being able to teach people things. So I mean, the more that you end up spreading the knowledge, the better off that it will end up being across the land of Tamriel. So you can end up learning, or if you already know something and somebody else needs it, teach them. That's the only way that we're going to end up getting extra people in to be able to do different things. There is a lack of tanks and healers in the game, and elitists are a lot of the reasons why. And I have noticed that a lot of the people that are being in the elitist status are tanks and healers, because we get DPS that come in there and they do the same thing and get on the elitist and try to run things. Every single group runs things differently. That is just the first and foremost with that. So you have to be able to learn to adjust on how, if somebody is running a group, follow them. Listen to the way that they explain the mechanics. If they explain the mechanics, if they don't, try to go with the flow. If you know the trial, good, that's a plus. If you don't know the trial and you want to learn the mechanics and you're not on mic, because you might be shy, you might not have a mic, you might not want to talk, if you can, just ask them. A lot of the times, and I've noticed, asking, they will end up telling you the mechanics, at least the base mechanics, when it comes down to like normals. A lot of the normal trials are ran. Literally, you can burn through them. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you guys. They are very, very easy to do, for the most part, on normal. But following mechanics and on the normal status, it will help you in the long run for vet. So trials are another big way, because you can end up getting gear in there. They swap gear. A lot of the groups, I'd say about 85% of the groups that I've ran with, they don't charge for gear swapping. So if you're looking for different gear and somebody else is looking for gear and you guys can swap it, nobody charges anybody. But plunder skulls drop in there. There's plunder skulls that drop inside of the vet trials. For the gear that you don't need or nobody claims, you can end up selling it, and you end up having fun inside of the trial as a group. You meet new people, you'll be able to have more friends, more people to run with, and it just makes the community here in ESO a whole heck of a lot better when everybody works together. I know everybody pays to play their own game, but it definitely is very helpful when people can end up working together. And that I enjoy the most of seeing inside of when we do trials and run in dungeons and whatnot. It's chemistry. It's all about chemistry and how you end up pairing well with others. So yeah, so here inside of Craglorn, you can end up finding those people. You can end up looking inside of your other guilds for random people. I always try to start with my guild first. And then I go to my other guilds that I am a part of. Shout out to Auction Addicts, shout out to Legion of Azure, and OP Reborn. You guys are always going to end up being on my guild listing, as well as my husband's guild, which he pretty much has on here, but that's Bloody Empire Rising. This has been my guild family for quite some time now. Whether I am a member of them or not, they've always been part of where I learned a lot of information from. A lot of the people inside of these guilds are extremely helpful, and I do appreciate each and every one of you, so shout out to you guys. So yeah, so if you just ask whatever guild you're in, I mean, one guild may not work for you, try another. Don't give up. It's the biggest thing where people have issues, where people don't end up wanting to help or don't end up responding. The least you can do, if you don't want to end up helping somebody, or if you can't help somebody, or if you feel like you can't do it, respond. Silence, nobody can end up reading your mind through the mic, through this game. So communication, just communicate with one another. I mean, it'll definitely be helpful. If you don't know something, ask. Nobody will know that you don't know it unless you ask. So that's definitely a big key also. So for dungeons, dungeons will end up being helpful as well. Those are 4-mans. For those that don't know anything about dungeons, because I do have a few new subscribers that have not done dungeons yet, dungeons require 2 DPS, a tank, and a healer. Even on normal, same thing as trials, make sure that you end up having those specific roles, and please queue as your actual role. If you are a healer, queue as a healer. We have had a lot of problems here on the NA server, and I'm quite sure that it's happening on every other server and every other platform that Elder Scrolls is on, with people queuing up as out of their role. I know a lot of people end up doing it just because they want to end up getting a random daily done and whatnot. If you end up doing that with a group of people that you know, cool, fine and dandy, no problem. But I think it'll be more helpful for other people to where if you're queuing up a random and you're queuing up solo, it's definitely going to end up being a challenge to try to fill the group of people for the required roles, regardless of the factor, which is another reason why people are queuing up for a filled role, such as a healer or tank, to try to get in there fast. So if you end up communicating with people and you end up grouping up with people, I noticed over the last 6 years, I've noticed a lot of people run with the same people just because that's their clique, that's their group that they like running with. I've always had the philosophy as well of you never are going to know somebody until you actually meet them. So with that, you're not going to know how your chemistry is going to click for a group unless you try. Not trying is going to end up making it to where you can't get things done. And I'm a big person that has to practice what I preach. I'm just extremely busy a lot of the times to where I'm doing other things for the guild, to where I really don't have a lot of time. But I will be starting to take time to be able to do this. And start running with new people, because this community it can be an awesome community to actually be in. You just have to find what fits for you. So inside of dungeons, you're going to end up finding a lot of the same things that you'll find in trials. There's different gear sets, there's dungeon gear sets. Dungeons are easier than trials. That is a big thing. There's a lot of them that you could speed run through. So whether you're speed running through them, whether you're taking your time to go through them, just try to learn along the way. It's gonna be a lot. This game has a lot of different things to learn in it. I really wish I can cram it all into one video, but I really can't. It's just really a lot of information. So yeah, so we've got the scrap farm, we've got the dungeons, we've got the trials, and we've got doing dailies and writs, guys. So if there's any other kind of information that you guys want to end up knowing, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. I also have inside of the information below this video my Cash App. If you would like to be able to donate to help the channel, that would be very much appreciated. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Follow me and keep up with all this awesome information that we will end up giving to you each and every single week on this video. Until next time, I thank you all for following me. Peace.